Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be doing my January 2022 completed coloring pages, and if that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. Okay, this intro is going to be long. This video is going to be long because I colored a lot of stuff this month. So I'm going to have this on for now just so that you're not looking at a blank desk while I talk about some things in the pinned comment as well as in the description box. I will put down when the video actually starts by way of completed pages, and I will section it out by way of my bookshelves. If I can, I'll take a picture so you can see. I've got 3 bookshelves worth of books, and the way that I store them, I'm going to be doing shelf by shelf. So this is all the things from bookshelf number 1. This month has been, or last month I should say, it's already February, has been really high by way of anxiety and anxiousness for me. And so I have really leaned into my coloring. I find that when I'm in that mode where I just need to get out of my head but keep my hands busy, feel creative, feel productive, coloring is probably one of my best hobbies to do that. I have a lot of creative hobbies, but most of them I have to start from scratch. And in some months, some days, some weeks, that's exactly what I want to do. But this month, it's already a busy month for me because I do work at a community college. And then there were some other compounding work things that just, it made me need this hobby more than I had in a while. So for November and December, I didn't really do much. October was a big month for me. I don't count, so it doesn't matter the number of pages. It doesn't matter the number of books. I reach for something and I go for it. I did learn though from October that any buddy colors that I want to complete in the month, it's better to front load it in the beginning or the middle of the month, because by the end of the month I know I lose steam. Plus, towards the last part of January, my arm and my shoulder were beginning to hurt. So that's when I know I need to pull back and just take it a little easy. Also, this month, there's a lot of pages that I really think are beautiful that I've completed. And there are quite a few that I'm like, well, at least it's done. And I'm going to show you all of them because I'm never in the pursuit of beauty. I'm never in the pursuit of perfection. I'm never in the pursuit of kind of leveling up my skill. That's not why I do this hobby. It is really about the process. It's not about the outcome. And I think sometimes it's good to show you things that I tried yet again, and it still didn't come out. And I'm not ashamed of it because what I needed it to do was help me with my anxiety. What I don't need it to do is be something beautiful that you see on Pinterest or Instagram or whatever. Okay, so you're going to see some that are great. You're going to see some that are not so great. And either way, it's all my time, effort, and energy, so I'm proud of it. Maybe a little less proud of some of it, but I'm still proud of it. I think that's it. If I can remember anything else, I'll just go along. But let me actually clear this up and we'll do book by book. The way that I do my coloring, the way that I store my books, and again, hopefully I've inserted a picture. Once I'm done, I will flag them with a lavender or purple page marker, and I just reuse them, so it makes it really easy. And then I turn my book on the side so that when I'm doing this video for you guys, I don't have to fumble through the book. It makes the transition easy from book to book. Plus, when I'm editing to pretty much edit all that out so it's just as smooth as I can make it for you, then it's just that much easier. So there is a method to the madness of the way that I do things. And then as I'm done, I will actually put the books back on the shelf. Again, you won't see any of that because I will edit all that out. But I do want this video, because I know they're generally pretty long, to be as smooth for you as possible. Because it will be long, put me on 2x speed. You can do that in the settings on your screen. either your phone, your iPad, laptop, whatever it is you're watching on, and you might actually not notice that much of a difference. All right, so let's get started. Okay, this is Opal's Moments Wholly for Yourself, usually known as Forest Girl number 3. I did do one page in here. Oh, I did forget to mention at the end of the video, I'll actually show my long-term reference journal because I do have a coloring book tracker and I wanted to show you the progress of that. And so I did this page here. And it was actually chosen a simple page on purpose because this is one of the ones I was doing for Corey's alphabet challenge. So F was for January. And so these are the 5 pencils that I were able to find with the letter F. There's a Castle Art Flesh, a Black Widow Fairy Floss, and then Caran d'Ache French Gray 10%, French Gray 30%, French gray, just like that. And so I actually looked for the colors before I looked for the picture. This one seemed to be able to handle those, plus I had not completed an Opal page yet. I think it looks good. This is the reference picture, so it helped that I had a lot of the pinks by way of 2 of them. I didn't have the blues, but I did have the grays, and so there is still some difference in tone. The way that I'm doing Corey's challenge is there's going to be a page where I use 5 pencils. It isn't always an Opal, but it is always a 5 pencil challenge at most. Last month, I believe I could only find 4 with the color. And then I will also do a marker page with just 3 markers with the letter of the month. I've already started on the one for this month, for February. G is for February, and that's how I plan to tackle that challenge because I don't have a lot of different products and supplies, and so for me it just has been a fun way to do that. Plus I did get a picture done in Opal, and that's Opal's Moments Wholly for Yourself. Now I don't link anything in my description box anymore. It just takes a ton of time, and based on my Amazon affiliate analytics, it doesn't get a lot of traction. So it's a lot of effort for no real use. Now, if there's anything that you see in the video, go ahead and put a comment below, and if I can, I will try to link you up either with an Amazon affiliate, or if I can find something else on the internet, I'm happy to do that. But I've done over 900 videos now, and I can tell you they don't correspond by way of people are clicking on links, and so it's just easier for me. If you need to find something, let me know and I can go ahead and do the research. The next one is in Joanna Basford's Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. I did pick this up from my friend secondhand. Her name is Susie's Cottage. It is the UK version, and it's probably not going to seem like a completed page, but it's the only element to color on the page, so I am considering it completed. This I did a video on my Flowwood pencils that I received from my friend Poet for Christmas, and I think they work really well. So I just wanted to do a little on-camera test with you. So that's the page out of here, and that is Joanna Basford's Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. I do have a page completed in this. Now this might look a little weird to you. When I purchased this back in June of last year, this is how the cover came. So this is the cover. She is the girl. The book does go open this way, but this should be in the back, and that should be in the front, but there's nothing else wrong with this book, and so I just decided to keep it. Plus it's a little weird, and I kind of like that. But the one I did in here is this one. This was a last minute one that I did on the 31st, and that's because I had ordered some Neocolor 2 crayons, and I got it that day, and so after work I just put this together, and I actually really like how it looks. Now the background here, her hair and the lily pads were done in Neocolors, and then I did stuff on top of it. So on top of this, if you can see a shimmer, I did put some of my High Chromatics watercolor shimmer paint, and I think it absolutely looks beautiful. I did do some pencil work in her hair. I did base in a layer of yellow Neocolors. On this side, I used Erogitins. They are horrible on this paper. My hand hurts so much, so I don't recommend it. But on this side, I did use Prismacolors. And then I've got some pencil work down here. I've got some glitter gel pen by way of the A&Art glitter gel pen. I do have some glossy accents in her hair. And then I did frame her out. The reason why I did the lettering here is because I didn't map it out. I always go in pen first. I don't generally pencil work anything. And so it wasn't going to be balanced. So I made it look like it was always meant to have a word here. The word is French, j'adore. And I think that means I adore you. I don't know, but it looks good. She's pretty. Pinks and greens are some of my favorite colors. And it was a really quick color because I was able to take care of a lot of the background. The skin work I did, use from Jen's Coloring Corner. I don't like to generally use pencils for skin because it does require a lot of shading and whatnot. But with some of her techniques, I was able to get something I'm not totally happy with, but it's certainly better than what I would have been able to do before I had seen her videos. In fact, it's because of her videos I also felt a little bit more comfortable with my Neocolor 2s. But I think she's really pretty, and so this is a page completed in Maria Trolle's Flora. Before this video comes out, I believe I'll be doing another haul video. I've already filmed it. I don't know how I'm going to schedule them, so this might be old hat to you where you've seen that video, or this is a surprise because I haven't released it yet. I don't know. But I did pick up Hannah Carlzon's Seasons. I did know that I wanted to pick up a few more of her books. At the time, I only had the Forest Kingdom one. And so I looked at a bunch of videos and then I settled on this one and then another one in order because it had the most variety of pictures. So for the season one, it has the 4 different seasons. So I like that idea. And then what I'm going to show you next, it's her compilation book. And I like that idea as well because I am limited on space. I know it doesn't seem like that with all the hauls I've been doing, but I am. So if I can get a compilation of her greatest hits, I'm perfectly okay with that. So this one I did right here. And it's the only one I've done. But again, I've only gotten this the latter part of January, and I didn't realize how well Prismas work in here. And so that little opal effect right there, that's Prismacolors, and then a little, oh, I didn't write down the white, but I think that is a Posca. And then the rest I did it in glitter gel pen, and I really like that effect. Oh, and there's some Wink Estella on there too. And I think that is just really pretty. And so it's made me a little bit more confident to work in here. Again, with skin, it freaks me out a little bit. I wish I could use my alcohol markers, but it will ruin the other side. What I've usually used in these books, the double-sided ones, is I'll do a water-based marker base, and then I'll just do some shading on top of it if I want to. So just knowing that the Prismas work really well in here and give me an effect that I like, that makes me happy. But this is Seasons by Hannah Carlzon. All right, the second book I got from her is Grains of Gold by Hannah Carlzon. I do have 2 page flags in here, but the other one is actually something I completed in February, so I'm not going to show that in this video. But I did do this one here. Again, I wanted to test the pencils, and so this is Prismacolor work, some white Posca pen, and then some Pentel Dual Metallic. And then because there is just so much white space, I did look up a quote for this. I think it looks really good. And I wanted to test the look of it, of what it looked like with the white outline. I've seen that a lot in people's colorings, and I kind of like both of them, but it does give it more of an ethereal effect, and so I'm happy with that. I do, like I said, have another page, but I'll show that in my February completed pages. And so that is Grains of Gold by Hannah Carlzon. I did do a couple in here. This is Tales of the Forest Kingdom. The first one is actually a tester. And so I did that page in the Seasons book, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize Prismas worked. Is it just that particular paper, or is it all of the paper in Hannah Carlzon's book? And so I did this little tester here, and so it is all done in Prismas with embellishments on top. And then I wanted to do the mushrooms the two different ways, either outlined in white with some pentel for the little buttons or whatever those are called, and then this one has, yeah, it feels like glossy accents because it's a bit raised. And then whenever I want something to look like it's glowing, I just use a yellow highlighter. And I like the look of it. Emma did this in a coloring chat, and hers looked absolutely gorgeous. But then I also did another page, and that's this one right here. And so I did black out the outside of it with some black acrylic paint. I love the look of it. I hate doing it. And at the time I didn't have a thin enough brush, and so close to the edge, I don't know if you can see it, I used a black Tombow water brush mark. It does give it a different effect, but it looks better that way than having the white edge around it. I did use Inktense for this background. I've realized by watching both Jen's Coloring Corner and Poet that I'd been using too little Inktense. Now I have to tell you, I didn't have a plan with this page. All I knew is that I wanted this to look like it was glowing. So the color transition in my mind does that. And I did the background first. I knew the leaves were going to be green, but then it did require that I change up some of the things that I would normally do. For instance, I normally do mushrooms in red, but I couldn't do that because they were butted up against this, and so I did them in blue. I could have gone in and done more shading, but there comes a point for me like, yeah, no, that looks good. I could do more if I wanted to. I chose not to. And then this here, Spread the Sparkle, was done in this Sarasa clip pen. As you can see, there's various colors in here, and on black it does pop out. If you're just doing this on a white page, it doesn't actually do much of anything. But I'm happy with it, and I'm glad that I did test some things. I do know I need to do more, and for this one, I guess because there's so much small detail, I didn't put my high chromatics on there, but I find that doing either a Neocolor or an Inktense wash and then putting the high chromatics glitter that I have on top of it really kind of smooths out the edges. But I really like the page, and we definitely should spread this sparkle. And that is Tales from the Forest Kingdom by Hannah Carlzon. This was a buddy color with my friend Spicy Cat. I don't know that she finished hers, but that's okay. I did send her my pictures to let her know that I was done. This is Joanna Basford's Worlds of Wonder, and we actually only had a one-page buddy color, which was this one right here, this camping tent. But this one looked pretty simple and straightforward, so I just decided to do them in tandem. That way I wouldn't have to keep the pencils out or remember what pencils I use, because I don't need the book to look similar, but I do like facing pages to look similar. What I did was I did put an outline of washi tape that I had, and it kind of chose the colors of the palette. This one I did frame out to kind of match this one because this frame was already here. I did add a horizon line in here, but that's all that I added to this. And then I think it looks actually really nice. For this, I used Inktense, Flowwoods, and Art, Wink of Stella, and Distress ink. So because I used the Inktense, it did go by rather quickly, because I used Distress ink for the background here, and then within here, that one also rather quickly. And I realized that my Flowwoods that I got from my friend Poet actually work really well on this paper as well. So I'm very pleased with it. I think it looks pretty. And I really like the effect of the washi, and in this it makes sense to me. But yeah, that is my buddy color with my friend Spicy Cat. Any of the names I've mentioned, I will go ahead and link either their YouTube or their Instagram below. But that was from Joanna Basford's Worlds of Wonder. And then this is, I believe, Fairy Tales from Erie. It's all in Japanese, so I don't know, and I didn't write it down. But I did do this page. And so this is the very first page. That's going to be part of my hashtag, which is Coloring the Year of the Tiger 2022. There is a tiger right there. These are the animals in the Chinese lunar astrology. And I did some Gansai Tambi for the red of that. And to get a more even coat, I could have come in, but I don't like doing things 2 and 3 times, and so I'd rather deal with a patchy background than have it looked perfect, because if I do this 2 or 3 times, that just takes time away from actually coloring here or coloring in other things. And with the pain and the boredom that I'm always fighting, I really need to pick my battles. Red, gold, and black are predominant in a lot of the lunar stuff, and so I really wanted to focus on that. The clouds back here are just done in some light blue. I didn't feel the need to outline them. I wanted it to be a very limited palette, and I think it looks really good. It's super glittery, and it's supposed to have all of the good luck feels that I wanted to. But yeah, that's my first entry of the Coloring the Year of the Tiger. I do plan on doing at least 1 page, and I really do need to put this up on Instagram, but I think it looks great. But I believe it is a Fairy Tale from Erie. All right, we are on bookshelf number 2, so yay. I did do a buddy color with my friend Patty from Life with Patty. Again, I'll link her channel below. Now, the first one I did was this one right here. And the problem I have with this book is the images are cute, but like this one, there's a lot of big spaces. And so when I'm coloring the horse, the unicorn, when I'm coloring in her skin, it's just like, oh, this is never ending. Her skin, was darker than I anticipated. I did want her hair to be purple. Originally, he was this color. And I'm like, oh no, that's not gonna work. And so I made him darker. I did want them to contrast a little bit. I do like that his hair is lighter. I don't know why he's a he, but he absolutely is. And I think it looks really good. But yeah, there's a lot of pictures in here that I like, and I'm glad I did a buddy color with Patty. And I loved the one that she did. But yeah, it's so open and big, and I'd prefer if there were more details on the page, to be honest. But we did this one. This one here, I actually really liked a lot more. Now, it's definitely mandala-y, and you guys know I'm not a huge fan of coloring mandalas, but there is enough variance in here that I didn't get bored or felt like I was just running in a circle. But I also like the color palette, and that just kind of happened. I did do a base of alcohol marker by way of these kind of rosy browns and these greens, and then it just kind of built from there. So some things you'll see some shading with some pencils that I have at work, because both of these pictures I actually did over a course of several weeks during my lunch break, because I do get an hour for lunch. And some of it is glitter gel pen, and I love the color palette. It looks kind of old-fashioned to me, and I think it's really pretty. I didn't feel the need to add a background or a quote or anything. I think this just stands alone enough as it is. Patty and I do have a buddy color set up for February, and so I'll be working on that probably this weekend. But this was Jade Summer's Greatest Hits. The reason why I purchased this book is because it was a prompt in Sarah's Coloropoly, and so I thought, well, in here I should have enough pages to last me for a while. Plus, sometimes I'll come to this one in case for one of Olga Rani's Finding Color Prompts, maybe I can find something in here. But yeah, that's the Greatest Hits by Jade Summer. I do talk about this book a little bit more in my haul video, and so I'll leave that to that one. But I did do a page in here. This is Melpomene Chatsi Panagitus. Circle of Life. I know it has been forever since I've been purchasing this, and really it's because everyone had it, but I actually really like it. I'm a little mad at myself that I didn't get it, and I really like it because of the way that water-based marker works on this page. There wasn't any, oh well, no, there's actually some bleed through right there, but that's totally doable. But the way that it moves on the page to me was surprising. This gray area, you can see some are darker, some are lighter, but you don't see the line streaks that I was anticipating that I would. And so for me, that makes this book even easier to work on. And I'll say it again, and I will continue to say it, but I'm always fighting pain and boredom. And so if I can find some things that'll help me with the pain by way of I don't have to do a ton of pencil work, then I'm absolutely going to do it. Now, I love the look of pencil work, but for me, and I'm sure many others, you just don't have either the stamina or the dexterity or the time. And so if I can complete a page, that is actually more important to me than getting the perfection that you can see out in the community, because what makes me want to color more is finishing things. It isn't just starting things. I don't get crazy about whips anymore. If I stop a whip, that means one of two things. Either I walked away from the book and I forgot about it, or it wasn't inspiring me. And with so many books to color in, why waste my time? I mean, it doesn't go away, so if I ever feel the need to color it again, it's there, but otherwise I'd rather sit and work on something that I'm enjoying versus working on something just because I need to finish it. And that's just how I approach this hobby. We all approach this differently, but I really like this page. This actually was for 2 prompts. It was for Olga's Finding Color for Fish, and I believe this is also covered by Color the Cover 2022, and that's from Sarah Chronic Coloring Down Under, where you color the cover image. You color the cover image. Now this page is actually back here, because when I started on this, what I thought that prompt meant was color the first page, not the nameplate page, which is this, but the first page if it was colorable. But now I realize it's color whatever the cover is. The likelihood that I'm going to color this image again is almost nil. And so if I wanted to, I could actually do this image in alcohol marker. I know for some that just would seem like a waste, but there are just going to be images that I'm not going to color. And so if that saves me some time on the opposite side of the page by using alcohol markers, I mean, it's my book, so I make that executive decision. But I love how this looks, and I am looking forward to coloring in here. I actually have my first buddy color with my friend Anne of Pretty Pages 71. I'll link her channel below, and we're going to do a page in here for February, or potentially into March. It depends. But that is A Circle of Life by Melpomene Chatsi Panigatu. I did pick up this book from Walmart. It is Color Mi Vida Aloha, and I did this picture right here. This one is going to be a very straightforward book for me, and I'm going to tell you right now, the reason I chose this page was a bit cheeky, because I know some of you are going through a bit of winter right now. And if I were the kind of person that went outdoors, because I live in Hawaii, I could actually see this right here, including the girl on the bike with the surfboard with the weird feet. So I did wanted to do a page in here. I probably would like to do another page in here while you guys are going through some winter. I don't actually favor coloring seasonally, so coloring for spring or coloring images for summer or fall. I like coloring Halloween all year. This one I'll color while it's still cold for you guys, and probably through the winter season towards the end of the year. But yeah, I'm not a seasonal person, so Yeah. But I like it. It's a really straightforward coloring. It is going to be a little interesting because I don't like coloring water. I actually ran out of some of the marker pen when I got here, but I'm not too fussed about it. But it's really cute. If you're interested, let me know and I can see if I can find it on Amazon. Again, I did find it in Walmart. It was published back in 2016, so it might be difficult. And I mentioned this in my haul video, but for some of these Zentangly pages like this, it looks like it's super busy, but honestly, that's water, that's sky, that's either greenery or dirt, and I'm not going to be concerned about all of the little things in here unless they are actually little things. Otherwise, I just block color and then go from there. So I don't really get fussed by Zentangly things like this. Most of that is going to be green. All right, this is Color Mi Vida Aloha by Erie and Rain. I did have a group buddy color with Deb and Poet out of this. This is Denise Klett's Gnomes in the Neighborhood. It's the only book from her that I have, and more than likely will be the only one that I have in my collection. But I did this one. Now, in December, we did a group buddy color, and I wasn't a big fan of that one. This one I absolutely love. I love the elements on the page. I love that there is no snow. That's another thing I've added to my list of things I don't like to color. I like that it looks like it is a rainy, cloudy day by way of the clouds in the background, but I also love how just loud and vibrant it is. For Debs and Poets, go ahead and check out their Instagram page. For Poet, I don't know that I've seen her completed pages yet for the month, but I think she was actually the first one to finish. But I really like how this came out. I think it's just so pretty and sparkly. But that is Gnomes in the Neighborhood by Denise Klett. I did one in here, Fashion Circus. It does have a matte cover. For filming purposes, those are great. I don't know that I like the feeling on my hands, but this was a buddy color with my girl Chelsea of Chelsea Jade Murray. For this one, I also plan on giving them names and doing a quote. I like adding text to the page because generally speaking, I won't be doing a background, but I think she's really pretty. And I do love me some pink. Purples are, it's a trigger color for me because when I was in high school, it was pre-Barney days, but there was Grimace from McDonald's and some mean guys called me that. And so I've had an aversion to purple ever since. But it does look really cute. On here, I do have some stickles because I did want this to seem like it was shimmery and glass-like. I didn't realize until afterwards that I don't know exactly what this piece is, but it doesn't matter. But I love Carla Magana's books because you can do whatever. Her name is Collins, and her quote is, "Normal is boring, be shiny." But this was a fun buddy color. We actually have 2 buddy colors set up for February, and I don't think either of them are Carla Magana. Huh, interesting. But that is Fashion Circus by Carla Magana. I did complete a picture out of this. This is Ikuko's Surreal Fantasy. This was a buddy color with my girl Deb, and I know I have a buddy color with her, but I think it's in the other Ikuko book. But this one is the one that I did. And let me show you the other page. So this is a book of doubles. This is what the original image looks like. I framed her out. I did add the wolf and I did add the moon. I wanted this to be an homage to Little Red Riding Hood, but I didn't want to do her little cape there in all red. So that's what this picture means for me. If it says, "If you can't face the wolves, don't go into the forest," and that's by Alexandra Yudinoff. And I don't normally put my name or my channel name on pictures, but there was this weird white space, and so that's why that was there. And the reason I did that was twofold. One, because there was an awkward white space there, but I also sent my page to Deb via DM, and otherwise I'd have to put it on Canva, because I do actually, I don't edit the picture, but I put it in an Instagram format. Yeah, I know, weird. But this way I didn't have to add the name on top of it. It just saved me a step. I'm not great at coloring light, so there is some like highlighter there and then some glitter gel pen. Call it a day. But that is my page out of here. I don't know that I have any buddy colors set up in this because I do have a second eCoco book and I do have several buddy colors set up in that. And that is Surreal Fantasy by eCoco. I use butter color and buddy color all the time in my videos, and they mean the exact same thing. It's just depending on how fast I'm talking, it just comes out butter color, and that's what I call these now. So butter colors, buddy colors, same thing. But that's eCoco Surreal Fantasy. I do have 2 completed pages in this mythographic Wild Winter. The artist is Joseph Contenbong. This first one was a buddy color with my girl Poet, and I had an idea for this, and I know I could have executed this better had I done the background in a different color. I always knew that I wanted to do these jellyfish things in pinks and glitter, but because the background is kind of purpley and magenta, you don't notice these as much. I should have done those in either yellows or blues or something more contrasting, but I did this, and then I liked the idea of it, but I didn't realize how it was going to look. I actually could have just blacked it out, but at that point I was already at that point of, yeah, I'm kind of done with it. Using the Pentel Glaze pen, I think would have been better had I just done it on the jellyfish. Originally, I did it on the cat. Loved how that looked, so I did it on the bird. Hated how that looked. I'm like, okay, well, that's just too much black right here, so let's just spread the black all over the page. Maybe that'll help differentiate it from the rest of it. It doesn't really. It just kind of looks not muddy or dirty, but it just kind of looks odd. I did smudge some up here. So yeah, there are elements on the page that I think are great, and there are elements that I'm like, I mean, it's done. I'm sure when Poet does this, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, it's done. Now, because I wasn't super happy with the results, I did decide to do another page. Now, if you are drinking something, I would say to hold off for just a minute, because this one does come with a story. So I was looking through the book and I'm like, okay, this one is a rather simple composition. There's a big frog or toad. Not actually sure if there's a difference on those things, but let's call him Frankie the Frog. And then I saw this, and immediately I wanted to do it in whites and blues because of Santorini in Greece. Now, if Santorini is not in Greece, please don't come for me. That's just the image I had on my head. Also, if it is Santorini in Greece, I don't actually know if all their buildings are in white. It doesn't make sense that they would have their roofs in blue. White actually would be better to reflect the light, but I had just watched My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and I know the Greek flag is white and blue, and so that's what I wanted to interpret here. Worked on the greenery, worked on the trees, and then I realized, oh, right, this is a winter book, and so there's snow, and I've already realized I hate coloring snow. But aren't there spitting frogs? So Frankie the Frog is a spitting frog. And did you know that sometimes I wake up with drool in my ear? Yeah, okay. So you're like, okay, Johanna, I mean, I can kind of see what you were doing, where you were going, and then what? That's like physically impossible. Well, no, it isn't. And Frankie the Frog is going to help me demonstrate. So if Frankie the Frog were a side sleeper, as I am, and if he had an ear, and I didn't realize that frogs don't have ears until just now, but if he had one, and he were a drooler, as I am, then just by the laws of gravity, it would go down and pool in the only place where it could, right? Because it's either going to go down my neck into my hair, or as it has done since I was a teenager, it will pool in my ear. Now, I don't want you to think it's a nightly occurrence, but it has happened. And the reason why I wanted to tell you that amazing story is because the way that my mind worked with this page, easy page, really simple, Santorini, easy elements, green, brown, blues. Oh wait, there's snow, he's a spitting frog, drool in my ear. That's how that story progressed in my mind. So even though the composition on this isn't exciting, I'm sure I'll see this page done by others much more beautifully, but it makes this picture now infinitely more interesting. Frankie the Frog will be one of my favorite weird pictures, like the pooping bug, or the fire moon, or the ogre and Bismarcky. They hit differently for me because now I have a story to go with it. And sometimes when I'm working on pages and I'm not inspired by the page itself, sometimes the process creates this story in my head that forevermore makes it more interesting. Now, why the long story? Well, if you're coloring and you're not inspired by what you're seeing, or if your skill level isn't where you think it should be, or if you're trying something out and it's not working, then try to tie a personal story, no matter how weird or far-fetched it is, and you'll instantly think of that picture in a better light. Yeah, that was a lot of talking. But that is Frankie the Frog from Mythographic Wild Winter, and the artist on that is Joseph Kontenbong. Okay, this is a mythographic that I usually have at work. It is Frozen Fantasies by Fabiana Attanasio. I have 2 completed pages in here, and I'm going to tell you right now, manage your expectations, because both of them are really kind of meh. So the first one is this one. Now, I liked the idea, and I think had I done more, because I actually originally wanted to. I wanted to add some glitter gel pen to this. I wanted to add some pencil shading. I like that the octopus are blacked out. Birds, bugs, animals in general, this is usually the way that I'm going to attack them because they're just not an element that I like to color. I did all of the outlining of the ice cubes in white. This was supposed to be for a prompt for Olga Rani, but I didn't finish it. But once I got to all of the elements were colored in, then I just broke into that wall of, yeah, I'm bored with this. Nothing about this is super interesting to me, and so I'm just going to call it a completed page. Done. It does cement the fact that there are just certain elements that I don't like. But this next one, yeah, is this. Now, the composition in and of itself was actually rather boring. Now, I've seen this done spectacularly, and I remember because she looked amazing, and it looked like she was going into this just subterranean nightmare. I couldn't tell you who I saw it from, but I saw it. Now, if you see here, this light gray and blue, that's how all of this looked. This all is just these rocks. And so I had done all that, and I'm like, yeah, that's so boring, but she's pretty, so I want to keep going at this page. And so these little things, which I'm not sure what are, I colored black. I had been watching Wheel of Time, and so there's some things there. So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it makes it more interesting, but not really. And so I started adding some dark gray up here, kind of gradient out, and it made it look interesting, but not really. So I used a darker gray, same thing. Well, let me just black it out, make it look like a veil into something or other. And so you can see that's what I did here. That looked horrible. I did use alcohol marker. Alcohol marker is transparent, so you can see all the nonsense behind it. Then I thought, well, let's make it look like a curtain and add some of these lines right here. That looks absolutely ratchet. I kind of wanted to this look like a cave, so this is darker than all of this. And honestly, but she's cute. So I finished it. and I'm considering this a finished page. And to be perfectly honest, I wanted to do more with her. I actually should have started with her and work my way around, because then had I just got to the point of, yeah, this is boring, I would have just stopped. But she was actually the last element, and so she isn't done up as nicely as I would have wanted her to be. But I was like, yeah, I'm done. This is stupid. I'm done. And I wanted to show this to you guys because no amount of perseverance would have gotten the results of this better, unless I like blacked it out with acrylic and then did some drawing on top of it. But I mean, at what point am I going to say enough is enough? Well, at this point. For me, the value of my coloring books is getting me out of my head and helping me with my anxiety. It isn't trying to level up a skill or make something that I think is Instagram worthy. And I keep wanting to say that because I don't know that I ever see people's fails, either here on YouTube or on Instagram or on Pinterest, because the social media reality versus the real life reality aren't always the same thing. But I'm going to show you because I did spend time, effort, and energy on here. I had a plan, sort of, or at least a direction, and it didn't work. And I'm cool with that. But that is Mythographic Frozen Fantasies, artwork by Fabiana Attanasio. I did complete a picture here, Mythographic Enchanted Castles by Fabiana Attanasio. And this one I am thrilled with. I think this is just so pretty. The palette for this was absolutely based on Poet. Purple is one of her favorite colors. Pink is not. Pink is one of my favorite colors. It was really interesting. But I love how this looks. I love how the sky looks. I love the variety of purples on here. I love how there is some texture to the castle, but it really is the purple that really draws your eye. The hidden objects, I just did nothing with. I didn't try to hide them. I didn't try to color them. If they were in the way of something, I just made it look like the background. I don't get too concerned. Now this one here is super obnoxious to me, and so is that. But you know, again, I'm not going to let it derail me from enjoying my coloring page. But I think it is so pretty. It's beautiful to me. I had a lot of fun. There's a ton of detail, but I prefer detail over large open spaces. And so we also have this one here. I believe this is also a buddy color with Poet and Pixie. I don't know if I said Poet and Sarah. No, Poet and Pixie. Pixie's projects. But that's this one here. I'd like to get it done this month, but I do have a lot of buddy colors in February, so I'm not sure if I will. But that is Mythographics Enchanted Castles by Fabiana Attanasio. And the last book from bookshelf number 2. So yep, we're about 75% there. Well, no, the math on that doesn't work. 30 and 30, like 60% there, whatever. We're nearly there. But this is Maud Lamone's Fantasy Figure Special. This is a Coloring Heaven book. And I did do this page here for Olga Rani's monthly Find and Color, which is fortune telling. I have to tell you, I didn't like her skin. I generally avoid doing any kind of shading or sculpting of the face because I know how it works on my face, but I am always very hesitant on working on my coloring pages. And so I know the effect that I wanted. I don't know that I achieved it, but that's okay. And this also has a lot of open spaces, or a lot of big spaces. And then there's this wolf here. And yeah, I love how her hair looks. I love how the background, I love the colors of this, but they're just actually elements of this that I don't know that I would have done any differently, but it's because I avoid doing it. I don't have the skill level for it. And so having kind of janky faces like that, and I don't know what it looks like on camera. And he was just like, let's just put some colors and call it a day. But yeah, I think the images in here are interesting. Oh, so the black from the Mondo Llama yellows. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like how that looks. So she might be yellow and something. Oh, and it went over here too. Again, I'm not mad at that. Oh, interesting. I'll have to remember that. I did take this and finish it at work. That's why I used my Mondo Llama alcohol markers. But yeah, that is Fantasy Figures Special Coloring Heaven book by Maud Lamont. All right, this is beginning of the third bookshelf, and there's a lot of books. So let's just get to it. I did finish one page in here. Again, the second marker is the actual February completed page. This is an ongoing group buddy color with my friends Emma, Erica, and Poet. The color palette for January was Winter. I think where I went wrong on this page, I think it looks great, but it is not pulling a lot of winter for me because of all of the warmth of the yellow. But I did his armor first. I did the background and then I did his face. And then I realized afterwards, oh, I should have probably done him like in a cool green or in a gray or something, but yeah, whatever. And so I love the look of it. It doesn't pull winter to me. But the quote on here says, "Step away from the last egg roll and no one gets hurt." Because I do like adding text to these pages of what I think these guys are doing. But yeah, that is Reptiloids by Vassal Psycho, and that was a group buddy color. Again, I already have my February one completed, but I'll show you that in my February completed pages. I did complete a picture in here. This is A Million Magical Creatures by Lulu Mayo. This is probably my favorite of the ones that I have or that I've seen. And I did complete this page right here. I actually really liked leaving the white of the page on here. I think it actually looks quite striking, especially against all of the black. That was already a black background, so I didn't have to do anything. And then with the shading, it's quite minimal. There's a lot of water-based marker in here with just a little bit of pencil shading in the frogs and then in her, but otherwise not so much. The stars, I did that trick of using a yellow highlighter, and then for these hanging ones here, I did use some glitter gel pen. And then for these streamers, I actually have the Karashi glitter highlighter pen, and it didn't lay flat. So that streaks isn't me doing a thin line. That's just how it went across. And I actually think that looks quite great. Anytime there's any sort of wings, I will be putting Wink Stella. And actually, I'm really happy with this page. I've done some other Lulu Mayo pages in some of my other books, and they were okay. But I think this is probably one of my favorites that I've done from her so far, just because I like the composition of it and I like what I did with it. But that is A Million Magical Creatures by Lulu Mayo. I do have a buddy color in here with my girl Chelsea, so you'll see that in my February completed pages. All right, my next completed page is from this Meine Reise durch Europa by Rita Berman. And I did complete this page right here. This was a buddy color with my girl T from T's World of Coloring. I will link her channel below. And I actually really liked how this was coming out until I did the background. The yellow dots with Distress ink worked fine, but I thought, oh, I'd center it a little bit by adding some blue, and yeah, I don't like how that looks. T's is absolutely gorgeous. But I do like how this looks. It just, yeah, up until that point, I was like, oh, this looks really cute, and then, oh, I ruined it. And I guess that's the downside of doing your background last is, you know, you might love everything on the foreground, and then, yeah, you do that again up until that blue part. I was actually cool with it. But that was my completed page from Meine Reise durch Europa. I did complete a picture out of here, My Secret Bookish Life. This is by Epic Page. I've talked about this in some other videos. I just don't know if I've scheduled them yet. But the illustrations and cover art by Zara Kiko, cover and interior designing by Magda Ward. So I actually don't know who the artist is, but I believe Epic Page is the publisher or whatever, because I do believe, yeah, this is Amazon printed paper. Now, all of the images in here are unique. There are no doubles in here. I chose this one again, really leaning into I live where you vacation vibe. But this one, once I was coloring it, I realized, ugh, water. But then also, I don't see anyone here, and she started a lot of beverages. I would never read in a pool because water and paper are not friends. But I mean, it is an interesting picture, and it does give that tropical vibe that I really wanted to send out to you guys. And then with that, I just left the unicorn floaty white and then added a bunch of Wink Estella just to make it shimmery. It's a cute book. I am looking forward to coloring more in here. And that is My Secret Bookish Life by Epic Page. I do have 2 completed pages in this one. The first one was for Olga Rani's prompt of fish, and I think she looks absolutely gorgeous. This book definitely gives me some Carolyn Kubikowska vibes. I saw this on Lucy's channel. Lucy Loves to Color, or Lucy's Coloring World, or something like that. I'll link it below. And I immediately have to get it. And the price, I think it was like $6 or $7, and I thought that was good. This one does have doubles, and I've marked it here, but because the artwork is so interesting, this might be one of the other ones that I actually don't mind doing twice. And then for this one, the standout for me was, I love how the fish came out. I don't know why, but fish are always either black or orange to me. But I also used some Pentel glazed on the frame, and it just looks so shiny, plasticky to me. And I think that's just such a pretty look. And then the other page is actually the very first one that I did. And I talk about it a little bit more in the haul video, but I did not realize that there were actually 2 ladybugs in this picture until I started to color one of them. I'm like, oh, there's 2. Wait, what are they doing? Okay, all right then. Because before I saw that there were 2, I thought she was just playing peekaboo with the camera person, right? She's living the Instagram life. She's wearing this ugly yellow sweater. Her hair is all flowing, so she's got the whole Beyonce effect going on, because, you know, Beyonce's hair always flutters in the wind. She's got these little things here in nature. Take the picture, and then, oh no, she's trying to give them privacy, but still wanting the picture for Instagram. And at that point, once I colored these, I was done with the page, because I thought I could add some distress ink to the background, but no, I just added this right here because there is some quality time happening on this page. And yeah, I like the image. It was funny to me because this is what the image looks like. I saw that one. Oh yeah, it's a ladybug. Don't worry about it. Colored all the green. Colored her hair, colored her skin, colored that sweater, that ugly yellow color. And then I'm like, okay, I'll have the ladybugs last, because I thought it was just one ladybug. So I'll do some glitter gel pen, or maybe Pentel Dual Hybrid. And then, oh no, there's a friend. Okay. But that is Gentle Nature. I didn't say, but this is a coloring book by Carlin Douglas. It is Amazon printed, and that's information that I did get from Amazon. But that's this coloring book right here. I did do a Buttercolor in Hot Tropics, a Tiki Pinup coloring book by Carla Magana. This is the one that I was supposed to have colored with my girl Chelsea, I believe back in November, December, but I got mixed up. And so she did the one that I did, and I did this one. And when I sat down to do this one, I knew I wanted to do golds and browns. He looks a bit weird in orange, but whatever. You should be focusing on her. Her name is Kula, and in Hawaiian, that means made of gold. She actually looks pretty normal. I just added some different tones of yellows in her hair. I wanted her to be gold, light-skinned. I don't always do a lot of light-skinned girls. And yeah, it's a departure from what I normally do in my Carla Magana, because it isn't so bright and vivid. She actually makes sense to me. But that is Hot Tropics, a Tiki Pinup coloring book by Carla Magana. This is Elegant Faces by Ikuko. Now I want to say, I know I have a buddy color with Deb in here. I think I also have a buddy color with Patty, but I didn't mark it because that's what this little flag is here. But I did finish a page, and that's this one right here. And this was for Oglarani's Find and Color Fortune Teller. This actually is a moon or something, but I wanted to make it look like it was a crystal ball because I didn't actually have a lot that would go towards that prompt. And she was a really quick color. I think she's really pretty. And you guys know, for stars and things, just add some yellow highlighter. Why do all the work if you can save yourself some time? Her eyes actually looked better, and then I added something and I didn't like it, and so I just added some glitter gel pen. But overall, I think she's really cute. But I will have to look at my DMs. I know I have a buddy color set up with Patty this month. I just can't remember in what book it's set up in. But yeah, that is Cosmic Fortune Teller, or no, that is Elegant Faces by Ikuko. If it sounds like I'm running out of steam, I think I've been talking for over an hour now and my throat is sore. I did do a page in this. This is Kristen Caron's Characters Through Worlds and Times. This one is a really beautiful coloring book, and this is the page that I completed again for Olga Rani's prompt, A Fortune Teller. Her skin was a battle because the first color I put down was way too orange, and so I just did layers upon layers on top of that. There is still some splotchiness, but whenever I'm doing any kind of alcohol marker work, if I can get a really even coat, great. But if there's splotchiness, I mean, I've got splotchiness in my skin, so I'm not going to expect the people that I'm coloring to be perfect if I'm not. But the quote I added to her was, "I've never met a strong person with an easy past," and that is by Atticus. I do have another buddy color set up in here with Chelsea. And yeah, this is just a really pretty book, and there are no doubles. So I'm going to have fun in this one. But I think she is just so stunning looking. I love her red lips. She has topaz eyes. And glitter gel pen. Glitter gel pen and alcohol markers are my best friends because they give me a lot of variance and make a picture more interesting to me without a lot of effort. Because I know that there are people in the community who are going to color this with pencils, and it's going to look just super highlighted and low lights and all of that. Yeah. I'm not going to do things that are going to prevent me from coloring more because I'm concentrating on perfection on something else. It doesn't calm me. It isn't something that I enjoy doing. And so yeah, if I can get an interesting effect with minimal work, even better for me. But that is Characters Through Worlds and Times by Kristen Caron. After this, we have 5 more books. I'm tired, guys. Oof, I'm tired. This is Coloring Heaven's Inktober 2020 edition. I actually think it's the only Inktober book they published, but I did this picture right here. I think this is one of the first ones that I had completed in the new year, and I really love how vibrant and colorful this is. I love the Pentel glaze pen so much, and because I love it so much, I actually did pick up their dark pack. I think they have a light pack, I'm not sure. There's a lot of glitter on here. There's a lot of straight coloring on here. I like doing a lot of straight coloring with some highlights with a glitter gel pen because to me it looks like either a manga or a comic book page, and I like the striking aspect of that. But I think it's pretty, so I'm very happy with this. And for me, I've mentioned before, I'm not going to get fussed about whips, but I do want all of my coloring books to have at least one completed page. I'm pretty sure I have about 95% of my collection with at least one page colored in it. And then the other 5% I will get to as soon as I can. This is Inktober 2020 Coloring Challenge by Coloring Heaven. I did complete a page in here, Coloring Heaven's Halloween Special. Halloween images are actually images that I enjoy coloring throughout the year. It's the only seasonal thing that I can color whenever. And this one actually goes for a new hashtag I want to do on a monthly basis. It's Hollow New Year by Potato Princess and Zombie Girl. And I did this page right here. And if you were wondering, this was my 3 marker challenge for Corey's alphabet challenge every month. The colors I used here were from Ohuhu, Forest Green, Frost Blue, and Fruit Pink. Now, obviously, there was no skin tone that I could find, and so I had to really pick my battles on where I wanted my colors to be. I knew I wanted her dress to be pink, and so skin was either going to be green or it was going to be blue. But I actually really love how she looks. The only thing I would have done differently, or I would have added to, was added Wink of Stella, because I like adding Wink of Stella to wings, but I don't add any kind of embellishment on my 3 marker challenges or my 5 pencil challenges. Even if I could find a color that started with that, to me, those are the only mediums that I want to use. But her quote, because again, there's a lot of white space, is nothing is absolute. Everything changes, everything moves, everything revolves, everything flies and goes away. And I liked that quote by Frida Kahlo because she has wings, and it kind of explains why she looks a little sad. But yeah, I think she's really striking. I loved the image, and I love the colors of the image. But yeah, that is Halloween Special Coloring Heaven book, and the artist on there is Ines Guerrero. I did do a page in this. This is Josh Lee's Fantasy Collection. This was for Olga Rani's Snakes prompt, and she is bright and bold and beautiful. And snake right there. I actually messed up. I didn't realize this was part of the snake until I was coloring it pink, and then I'm like, well, just make it look like a flower. No one cares. I love how her eyes came out. And I think, yeah, there's some glossy accents on there. And then the quote on hers is, danger hides in beauty and beauty in danger. And that's a quote by Belva Plain. I did kind of frame her out just because originally I thought I was going to put black acrylic back here. And I thought, yeah, I can't be bothered with that. And so I just added the quote on there, and it just helps take away the white space. But I think she is really pretty. And she is from Josh Lee's Fantasy Collection. I did see the flip through that Emma did recently of Josh Lee's newest book. And even though I said I was kind of done with shopping, I went shopping. And because I already bought that one, I also bought a few more, because if you're going to kick the can, kick the can. But that's Josh Lee's Fantasy Collection. Now the last 3 I'm going to show you are from Zan Von Zed. So the first one I did was this one right here. This was another entry for Olga Rani's Find and Color for Fish. Now, I don't know if whales are considered fish. Dolphins are warm-blooded, so they're mammals. I don't think they're warm-blooded, so they would be considered fish, I think. But actually, it's that little fish right there. That's what I was counting towards the prompt. But I love Zan Von Zed's work. This is Ladies of Leisure 2, the line art version. But yeah, I find it very striking. And because, again, there's a lot of white space, the quote on her page is, she is a mermaid, but approach her with caution. Her mind swims at a depth most would drown in. And that's J. Iron Word. Now that's what I found online. I don't actually know if that's a person or not, but whatever. I think she is interesting looking. I love how fierce these women are. And yeah, it helped with the prompt that I was looking for. And so that is Ladies of Leisure 2 by Zan Von Zed. I did a picture in here, Ladies of Leisure 4. This was a buddy color with my friend Deb. However, I did have an idea of what I wanted her to be, but I don't know that my execution was the greatest. I wanted her to be a ghost. And so I used very muted colors. I don't know if in the face I did it justice, because I did whiteout on, or not whiteout, but either Posca or Uniball white jelly roll. And I mean, she's supposed to look washed out. I'm not exactly what my problem is with looking at this. Maybe it's because her lips are pink and maybe they should have been gray. I don't know. Overall, I think it is probably about 80% of what I wanted it to be. But yeah, there's just something a little off on it. But it's done. She's not my best work, but I still like her. And I do like the apple there. But yeah, that is the page from this one, Ladies of Leisure 4. And then there's this one, Ladies of Leisure 3. And this has to be probably one of my favorite pictures that I have completed of all of my Zen Von Zed work. On her hair, I did a base of alcohol marker. And then I don't know if you can see the shimmer, but I did use my High Chromatics shimmer watercolor paint on top of it. There's a ton of Wink of Stella in the water. The fish, I think I could have done a little lighter. I want you to be able to see the fish, but I wanted to also be a little bit more menacing. Having a bright yellow fish, I don't know, is very menacing. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but more often than not, if I do eyes, it's going to be in green. She's got some glossy accents on there. She's got some Wink of Stella on her lips, on her outfit here. Around here, the shiny part is some Jelly Roll Glaze pen. I did want the background to recede. I wanted all eyes on her, not even so much on the fish. And so this is sort of a green gray. I think that's from the Ohuhu Pastels. There are a variety of different greens in that. Again, it's dark, so it recedes. And I think she is absolutely gorgeous. I did give her the top of her head because the picture actually ends there. And I could not be prouder of this picture. And as you've seen, because this is the very last picture I'm going to show you, as you've seen throughout all the pictures I've shown you, there's some highs, there's some lows, there's some mediums in the middle, but it helped me in the way that I needed to, by helping me with my anxiety, by helping me feel creative and productive, and just focusing on something outside of myself, because I have this really bad tendency to just kind of sink into my thoughts and kind of live in my head, and that's not always a great place for me to be. But that is my last picture. I would love to know, out of the many that I finished this month, if you had a favorite. All right, guys, well, that's it for me for now. And as always, aloha.